Hi everyone, I'm doing a series of videos about France and why we moved here, and this one is particularly about why we chose this part of France. So I live in the Pyrenees. If you've got the Mediterranean here and you've got the Atlantic here and you've got the Pyrenees between the two, we're kind of pretty much in the middle. And you'd call it more the foothills. We're not kind of high up a mountain or anything. We wanted to find somewhere quickly when we were moving because we knew that winter was coming and we were in a camper van. So we didn't have a huge amount of time to find somewhere to live. But we found this lovely little cottage, stone house, which probably was a bit of a farmer's barn type thing, and it's been a little bit extended in different places. But also what was important for me was to have a big garden with a view, because I like my vegetable patch and growing things to eat, and having a beautiful view was really important. So we found that. And when we were in England looking at places to live on the internet, I was looking at all different parts of France, and mainly south because I wanted the weather to be a bit warmer in the summer and I love the heat. But whenever I wasn't looking in this region, I always felt like there was something missing. And, you know, because I'd look at a house, I'd click on the house, oh, that's nice. And then I'd look at the kind of tourist information of that town and have a look at the region in that area. And I'd always find at the countryside, it was just missing mountains. There weren't any mountains, they were just not there. And for me, that was a really important factor. And I didn't really need to go near the Alps because I'm not like a huge skier or anything, even though there's great skiing in the Pyrenees as well. So, you know, but that seemed, the Alps seemed more extreme, and we didn't want to feel like we were stuck in a valley or stuck in that range of mountains, and it's really hard then with the roads to kind of get about. We still wanted our life to be reasonably easy. I know some people in the Pyrenees here have very extreme lives. You know, they live in a place where they can't even drive to their house, so they have to park their car and then walk sometimes more than 10 minutes to get to their house, sometimes half an hour to get to their house, and that's the kind of lifestyle they want. We're not up for that. Maybe in the future, I don't know, but not now. And yeah, so we kept being drawn towards the mountains. So I'd kind of pinpointed on the map a bit lower than Toulouse, and then maybe, no, there was actually a place just above Toulouse that had a really pretty town, and we thought, okay, well, let's go and have a look at that village because there was a nice house there. But we got there, and this was on the camper van trip, and we'd already left and cut our ties with England. The town was lovely, but all around that, it was kind of had this very dead, just kind of farmland. There was no life there, it felt like. I'm sure there was if you lived there, but it didn't feel like there was very much going on. I was like, no way. And we had this really weird drive away from that place where it just kind of, we got stuck in these fields of corn, and we got a bit lost. We were like, where are we? And the sat-nav didn't know where we were either. And we were like, let's get out of here. And it was going dark. We were like, where are we going to sleep the night? And it just felt wrong, you know. You can go by your kind of, your heart and your gut if something feels right. So then we started moving south more, and we knew that we really liked Aurignac from past holidays. And because we'd made some specific trips to this kind of area also in the past that were holidays, to see which parts we liked more than others. And I had been doing a lot of research on houses in the Aurignac area. But when it actually came to it, we saw pretty much all the houses within our price range in that kind of area and that town. But the houses were either too big and the gardens too small, no view, and then after that it got too expensive, and we were like, okay, well, this isn't working. So we found some other immobiliers, which is estate agent, and they showed us some other houses deeper this way, closer towards the mountains, because Aurignac is another 45 minutes north of where we are now. I'll be back in a moment. And then we started looking around houses here, and some of them were a bit like basically holiday homes that people don't really live in very often. So you'd go in them and they felt really dead and lifeless. And the house wasn't set up as if you could really live in it. It was meant for kind of holidays. So those houses didn't work for us. Most of them, the garden wasn't right. What else? We just saw so many. Some of them were really close to, even though you might be in a small village, you could maybe hear the road, like the busier road, and I didn't really want to have lots of traffic outside the door, or, you know, that's what I was coming away from. I didn't want that. But at the same time, I didn't want to be totally isolated. And this one, yeah, we're right close to a road, but we only have about 10 cars a day that come past, and they go slowly. Sometimes they beep when they go around the really tight corner, just because they don't want to, you know, come across another car all of a sudden. But that's fine, you know. And also, we don't have loads of really noisy aeroplanes all the time. We live in a part of France where the aeroplanes don't come low. When we lived around the Oxfordshire area, you know, the planes are constant, and it's just all this extra noise that you don't need. Oh yeah, there's something else about a sustainable lifestyle also that I wanted to talk about a bit more, and could be interesting for quite a lot of you. I wouldn't say that we've achieved that goal particularly, but we had to make, what's that word, beginning with C? Can't remember the word. But not everything was fulfilled with our kind of French criteria. So I'll talk about that next.